We're having a catch up in the greenhouse today, and I'm going to be looking at the tomatoes, and that's brought to you with the support of Cobra Garden and King Seeds. Hello and welcome to Pots and Trowels. Well, here we are in the greenhouse and I'm really tempted to pick these delicious ripe red strawberries and eat them, but Mrs. Fish, who's on the camera, has said I'm not allowed to. She wants them afterwards. That's her payment. I don't know the name of this strawberry. It's some plants we got a few years ago. They've been in this pot now for 3 seasons. It's an everbearer, so they're not big fruits, and it means they continually flower and fruit through the summer. So they've got a longer cropping period, and they are delicious, so we can enjoy those. But here we are in the greenhouse. We're coming towards the end of May. Lots of growth in here. We've got lots of ornamental plants, lots of flowering plants that I love to grow, but also the edibles as well. And some of the things that we're growing, we've got the aubergines down here. So these were started off from seed a few months ago into small pots, and I've recently put them into these 10-inch pots where they're going to now grow for the rest of the summer, and we'll get some delicious fruits on those, so we'll show you those at a later date. Then we've got the peppers, again growing nicely now. We're getting some warmer weather and good long days, so these will hopefully soon start to branch out and flower, and again some lovely fruits to look forward to later on in the season. My cucumbers aren't quite ready just yet to go into their final pot. They will be grown in the greenhouse. These we grow vertically, and this is a variety I've not grown before, one that we got from King Seeds, which is called Merlin, and it produces 2 fruits from each leaf joint, so it's a really interesting one to grow. And there is still time if you want to grow cucumbers. Cucumbers grow really quickly when it's warm. Some people don't sow them until June anyway, and you'll be picking cucumbers later in July. So, you know, if you want to have a go, have a look on the King's website and take advantage of the 10% that they're giving to all the followers of Pots and Trowels on all seeds. So we'll put a note on that so that you can find out details. But that's something we're going to be planting in just a week or two's time. But I want to have a chat to you about tomatoes, because these are the tomatoes that we planted in the self-watering pots a few weeks ago now. And if you want to see that video, of course, it's available on YouTube. But they're really good, the self-watering pots. It means you can go away for several days and not worry about them. They're growing well. As you can see, they're getting quite tall in the greenhouse. And there's a few things that we need to do to our tomatoes to keep them growing and healthy and to ensure that we get a good crop. Now, I'm looking for a side shoot, but Jill has beat me to it because she's often in the greenhouse doing a bit of side shooting. But there's one on the plant here that she probably has missed purposely. And a side shoot, if you're not sure what a side shoot is this is the main stem. So we've got the main stem, we've got the flower trusses, we've got the leaves that are growing out. And in the joints between the main stem and the leaf there, we get this little shoot growing. Some people refer to it as a sucker. It's not a sucker, it's not coming from the roots, it's growing from the dormant bud. And we want to pinch that out. So just use your finger and thumb and just snap it off like that. And there's a slightly bigger one just higher up there that's sneaky in there. So again, they snap off really easily like that. So we want to get rid of those, because if we don't, and another one there I've just spotted, if we don't get rid of those, what happens is instead of getting that lovely straight stem, we get a bushy tomato plant, and that's not how we want to train these. So side shoot on a regular basis. We can see the flowers are forming on these, so these are going to start setting the fruit. And when you get the flowers on your plants and the fruit starts to set, that is the point where you need to start feeding once a week with a high potash tomato fertiliser. I also like to go in between with a seaweed feed as well, because that's got all the minor nutrients in there as well. But a tomato fertiliser is high potash, which is essentially what we need to give them for the fruit. Something else that I've seen 1 or 2 people talking about is taking the leaves off the base of the plant so that all the energy goes into the fruit and helps it develop. And that's not really strictly true in my book, because these leaves, while they're green and healthy, are producing food by photosynthesis, and that is feeding the plant, encouraging the flowers and getting the fruit to swell. So while ever these leaves are green, I would always leave them on the plant. They're doing a valuable job. That's what they're for. Only when they get older, maybe in a couple of months' time, and these start to yellow, when they've done their job, then I would take them off. But while they're green, leave them on because they're drawing up nutrients and making food for that plant. And then the final thing, very quickly, and hopefully I've got a bit of string in my pocket, because we're growing these against the cane, we need to make sure that they're supported as they grow. So bamboo cane we use, and we've got the plant growing nicely. So you just need to put a string tie on every now and again. So I've got a piece of string, just a soft piece of string. Loop it round, once round the stem and then twice round the cane like that. And the reason for that, the reason we do this extra loop around the cane rather than just tying it like that, is that moves about and it slips. But if you put that extra loop around there, then it doesn't slip. And then we can just put, and I can never remember whether it's a reef or a granny knot, but a knot to hold that in place like that. And I can't get that piece through. And that won't slip there, and it's holding it in position. Not too tight, I'm not pulling it really tight on, so there's a bit of room there for the stem to swell a little bit there, and that will be okay. So that's essentially it. So side shooting, tying them in and feeding them once a week with that potash feed will keep these growing really well. Just to finish off, over here, I've got a different type of tomato plant because not everybody's got room to plant them like that. And if you've got a nice sunny patio, then it's well worth planting one of these bushy trailing plants. And this is a variety called tumbling tom. You can get a red form, and this one is the yellow form. Really, really good one this is to put in. So what I'm going to do is put this into a pot, and then this can be either in a greenhouse or put it outside on a bracket in the garden. So there's the plant. I'm using one of these self-watering pots again. Really, really good. It's just got a little reservoir at the base. So you do have to water, but it means that it keeps a little bit of extra water there. So on a hot day, it doesn't dry out too quickly. And then I'm just going to fill that with some of the compost. So we put the compost in there like that, almost to the top. And then I'm just going to make a little hole there for our tomato plant. So this again was one grown from seed. You'll probably find these in garden centres now. So they're really good. Tumbling Tom produces hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cherry tomatoes. As I said, either red or yellow. Got a nice strong root system in there, as you can see. So I'm just going to pop that in so that it's at the same depth. We don't want to bury the stem, and just filter that compost around it. Lightly firm, but not over firm. We don't want to squash all the air spaces out. Then if necessary, just top it up a little bit like that. Put the label in so we know what it is, Tumbling Tom. And then I'm just going to put the hangers on. Now these are so easy to look after. We've talked about side shooting. You don't have to do that with these. These naturally bush out and they will cascade over the side. So there's no pinching out of side shoots or anything like that. And don't be tempted to put more than one plant. That's just one in a hanging pot, because that will cascade completely over the side. If you put 2 or 3 in, they will cramp each other. It started to flower, so I will now start to give it the feed, and that will do its magic, either inside or outside, and you, as I say, can enjoy lots and lots of delicious strawberries in a couple of months' time. So I'm just going to hang that one up there, like that.
Did you mean tomatoes?
What did I say?
Strawberries.
Oh, strawberries, yes, tomatoes. It's because I'm thinking of eating these lovely strawberries. So there you go, have a go with your Tumbling Tom tomatoes and enjoy them at a later date. Thank you for watching Pots and Trowels, and remember, all the videos that we've done you can find on YouTube, and also look out for our podcast that comes out every Sunday morning.
Every year I take home a rose. I've been doing Chelsea for 10 years now. It's my 10th anniversary this year, and I have 10 roses.
Next week we're going to be in the garden looking at the Bramley apple tree that we pruned back in the winter and doing a little bit of summer pruning now. So we'll see you then. Don't tell Jill, by the way. Delicious.